Hey church, we're back. It's the Midweek Minute or two, returning after a week of spring break. I pray that your week of spring break was as restful and rejuvenating as mine. If you've been with us a while, you know the drill for Midweek Minute or two. We're going to put 2 minutes on the clock and get going with a moment of encouragement and connection. Let's get started. Can I begin with a moment of confession? On Sunday, I kind of did that preacher thing that I know can be annoying, right? I named a real human problem, and we encountered a really hard scripture with the story of Lazarus and the rich man and the rich man's struggle and how he'd been really blown off course in life, and there were consequences for that. And I invited you through the story of when we, over spring break, got literally blown off course by a crosswind on Lake LBJ to consider how you might fight those crosswinds. I told you what my uncle told me, real, practical, good advice, right? Hug the shoreline, minimize how much of you is above the water so that you're less of a sail yourself. And when you have crossings, try to shorten them as much as possible. He gave me real, good, practical advice, but you know what I did to y'all? I just left you hanging. I invited you to consider where you might be invited. What practices might help you fight the crosswinds of life, the things that blow you off course, the things that keep you from being on track, the things that keep you from embodying the heart and the compassion of Jesus. Well, today I'm here to help you a little bit and redeem the brokenness of the sermon just slightly. Over the last several weeks and months, I've been wrestling with the power of rhythms in our lives. Rhythms are those ongoing commitments that we make to practice that start with an intention and become over time muscle memory. Many rhythms in our lives help feed our souls. Many rhythms in our lives, just like a good rhythm in a kayak can help you fight a crosswind or a current, can help us stay on track, help us stay moving toward Christ in his fullness so that we might live in our fullness. And so I've been thinking about the power of rhythm. NT90 is a rhythm that we've invited us as a church into. And it is really actually a pretty good embodiment of what I think a rhythm needs to be. And so I'm going to invite you to consider what rhythms you might be being invited to take on and what rhythms you might already have by helping you understand at its core at least 3 foundational elements of a rhythm. Any good rhythm that draws us to Christ has a partner. We are made to experience our spiritual practice and our commitment in community, and we stick to it better when we are in community. So any good rhythm has a partner. It has a purpose. It has an intention. It has a reason for existing. It is intended to draw us to God. It's intended to create a place of quiet rest. It's intended for something. It has a partner. It has a purpose, and it is a practice. It's not just an idea. It's an expression. It's an action. It's a practice, whether that's lived out in our spirits and our souls through an act of prayer, whether it's embodied through an act of physical prayer like song or yoga or walking with a heart to see and hear, through reading like NT90. So I didn't give you much on Sunday in terms of how-tos, but here we are today for Midweek Minute on our moment of connection. Consider what rhythm you might be invited into starting, into investing more deeply in, or to acknowledging that you already have, knowing that every rhythm has a partner, has a purpose, and has a practice. I hope to see you Sunday. Thank you for joining us today.